Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video, and it's back! The Premier League is back after a week. The international break, boring as always, don't really like it. And finally, the Premier League is back, and this is your Game Week 29 predictions. First up, we've got the biggest match of the weekend, you could say, Manchester City versus Liverpool. Two teams fighting for different things. City fighting for the title still, with Arsenal ahead of them. They're still going for that title. They're still in a title race. And for me, if they lose this game, Arsenal have definitely won the league, and I think it's over. They need to win this game. At the Etihad, they need to win this game against Liverpool. Liverpool fighting for top four. They need to, I feel like this is a massive game they could win as well to boost their chances of getting into the top four. My opinion on this match, who will win? I think Man City will edge it. I think it's not going to be I guess it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a back and forth game, but Man City are going to win this game 2-0. I'm going to say it's going to be one of those close games, but it is going to end like a 2-0. The scoreline not going to make it look as close as it actually was. So yeah, I think City are going to win this game 2-0. Next up, we got Bournemouth versus Fulham. Bournemouth versus Fulham, in my opinion, this game, Fulham, I think, are going to win. They're fighting for European football, and they're going to keep fighting for it with another win against a relegated, threatening Bournemouth that I think are going to get relegated. And in my opinion, that's why I think Fulham are going to win. I think they have the better players. They've been better this season. They've been amazing this season, really, and they'll continue that form after this break. Beating Bournemouth, I'm going to say comfortably with a 3-1 victory. I'm going to say Bournemouth will score, but it'll be a 3-1 comfortable victory for Fulham. And I think Bournemouth win over Liverpool with just luck, to be honest, and now they're going to go back to losing. Next up, we got Brighton and Brentford. This game could go either way, in my opinion. Brentford having a great season, Brighton having a great season. Both teams are having a good season this season. Both teams having a good season this season. And in my opinion, for this game, it could go either way, but I'm going to go for a narrow victory for Brighton. I think it's going to be a 1-0. A 1-0 Brighton victory in this one, to help them push on to try and get into Europe this season, to play some European football next season. Next up, we've got Crystal Palace versus Leicester City. Leicester City started really bit of a downfall. Palace started a downfall. Palace haven't even won a game, I think, this season. Not this season, obviously, but this calendar year, 2023. I don't think they've won one game. And I think they've been really, really poor. And sacking Vieira, I don't think was the correct option. Bringing Roy Hodgson back again, I don't think it's going to work for them, and I think they're going to lose to Leicester 1-0. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Leicester are going to pull off a little goal late on and win this game 1-0. Next up, we've got Nottingham Forest versus Wolves. In this game, who do I think is going to win? Because both of these teams, Wolves and Nottingham Forest not having the greatest seasons. Nottingham Forest, of course, had an alright start, but kind of dropped off for the rest of the season, in my opinion. They'll keep doing that. But I think this game's going to end in a draw. I'm going to go with a 1-1. I think it'll end in a 1-1 draw, and it'll just be one of those games where it'll be a boring 1-1 where both teams will have limited chances, but they'll both get like a scrappy goal, and it'll end 1-1. And yeah, I think this game will end in a draw. Next up, we've got Chelsea versus Villa. Chelsea have regained a bit of form. Villa, on the other hand, have been alright this season, but yeah, in this game, I just think Chelsea are going to continue them being better towards the end of the season. I think they're going to continue being better at the end of the season, and that's why I'm going to go with a Chelsea 3-1 win. I think they're going to win this game 3-1. I think they're going to dominate most of the game, put it up to like a 3-0 lead, and then concede a late goal to make it 3-1. The next game we've got is West Ham United versus Southampton. Now, Southampton are the worst team in the Premier League this season, in my opinion. And they'll continue being like that. And West Ham, I think, are going to get... I think West Ham have been good this season, but I think they'll have enough to just get a victory against Southampton. I think they'll have enough. I'm going to go 2-1. It's going to be a narrow victory, but just think West Ham are too much for Southampton. It'll be a 2-1 win for West Ham. Next game we got is Newcastle versus Man United, the cup rematch, the rematch of the Carabao Cup final. Who do I think is going to win this match? I think it's going to be a shock for most people. I think Newcastle are actually going to win this match. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think Newcastle are going to get their revenge for losing the cup final. I think they're going to win this game 2-1. I'm going to go with a 2-1. I think it's going to be narrow. It's going to go 1-0. I think Man United will score first and make it 1-0, and then Newcastle score right before halftime, and then score a late goal in the second half to win this game 2-1. And then we also got, next up, we got Everton versus Spurs. That is our next game. We've got Everton versus Spurs. Who do I think's going to win this game? I just think Everton are not going to be great this season. They are at home at Goodison Park, but I still think Spurs will be too much for them, and Spurs will win this game. I'm going to go with a comfortable 3-0 Spurs win. We've got a lot of games this week. This is why I'm trying to go through them a little quicker, because we do have a lot of games. Next up, we got Bournemouth versus Brighton. Yeah, Brighton are going to win this game. There's a lot of double game weeks in this weekend. In this week, there's a lot of double game weeks, so I'm going to go through a lot of games. So in this game between Bournemouth and Brighton, yeah, it is Brighton. Brighton have too much for them, and Brighton will continue get another win. And I think Brighton are gonna get European football this year. I think they have the quality. Next up, we got Leicester City versus Aston Villa. Leicester City versus Villa this match, and I think Villa will have too much for Leicester. I don't think Leicester have been great this season. I don't think Villa have been great this season, but I do think Villa will have too much for Leicester, and I'm gonna go with a 2-0 Villa win in this match. And I just think they'll have a bit too much for Leicester. Next game's a pretty good, big one. It's Chelsea versus Liverpool. A big match between both clubs, really. If they both can make European football still, and I think it'll mean a lot to beat the other. Yeah, that's my great analogy. But in this game, I do think Liverpool will have too much for them, and I think Liverpool will win this game. I'm gonna go with a 2-0 Liverpool win. And I think they'll have just too much for Chelsea, because I think they do have the better. They might not have the better players, as in like how much Chelsea has spent, but as a team and the quality, I still think Liverpool have a better team. A form of like current players. Next match is Man United versus Brentford. Last time these two played was a 4-0 Brentford win, if you remember that. Brentford Community Stadium early on in the season, second game of the season, where Brentford absolutely tore Man United apart and won 4-0. Now, in this game, what do I think will happen? I think Brentford are going to do the double over Man United. I honestly think they could, but this time I think it's going to be a closer game, a way closer game, of course, and they'll get a shock 1-0 win at Old Trafford. I'm going to go with a shock 1-0 win for Brentford at Old Trafford. And the final game of the game, we're finally at the end of it, is West Ham United versus Newcastle. I think Newcastle will win this game and continue their push for top 4. I think they will. I think it will be a comfortable win for Newcastle, so I'm going to go with a 2-0. I think it will be a comfortable 2-0 win for Newcastle in this match. Let me know your score predictions down in the comment section below. I want to know yours. If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next time. Peace!